Whoops, who turned that camera on? That's part of my morning wake up. So last week I mentioned that I'll probably need to turn something fairly quick and fairly easy, but it's going to be a beautiful piece of wood I've never turned before. So I was offered some red bud. This is what I almost considered a little scrap, and I just want to turn some of it even though it's green. But take a look at this grain. I think this is going to be amazing. So I'm going to try to cut away most of this, get down to the heartwood so we can see what it looks like. I've already made it semi-round. I've got a hole in there for my worm screw. Let's get it mounted up and start turning. Okay, I am really looking forward to turning this and getting down to that heartwood. And yes, I am going to wear gloves on both hands because of the reaction I had to an antibiotic, and it's still peeling a little bit. So, and it's also getting really cold around here, so it's just going to be that time of year. Doing 800 RPM, 5/8 bowl gouge. So I had a question the other day. How long does it take to, let's say, take a decent sized cut on the side of a bowl? And they were wondering if everything was in a faster speed or what I was running it at. So just for reference right now, this is normal speed, meaning the video is not sped up. I'll let you know when I speed it up, and you should be able to hear it just by the sound of the cut being made. It's definitely different. And if I don't speed these up, the video just gets longer and longer, and if I speed it up, you get to see more of what's going on. So I think this is one of the cuts that I was asked about, taking a pretty good bite using a larger bowl gouge. Here's our heartwood. I actually want to try to take a lot of this off the bottom, so when I cut the inside I still have heartwood. I could have sawed a lot of that off, but it's turning off fairly easy. That's a little bit high. So I just increased the speed on the video to 2.5 times normal speed. And we're back to normal speed here. And it did show up right there. I'm going to make this a lot shallower. Like I say, this is just kind of an exploring trip for when I get the other pieces dry to see what it's going to look like. There. Look at that. Really going to be cool looking wood. Why don't we kind of stop right here, get this flattened out, get a tenon on there, and we'll get it flipped around. Try to get some of that bulk out of the inside so it doesn't crack up on me. And I don't know if it will or not, because this is a new wood for me. All right, I'll do one little cleanup pass here. Alright, I think that's not bad. I'm just going to flip it around. Looks like I might need to take about 3/8 off of there because of a crack in this. So I'll be right back and we'll have it flipped around. Okay, I've got it all mounted up. It's running nice and smooth. I need to at least flatten it down to here. And maybe I'll round that edge over a little bit. And then we'll get to hollowing. Doing about 900 RPM right now. Move that light so I can see that edge. All I can say is, wow. Holy smokes. Dang, that's nice. Whew, beautiful. I don't know how well you can see it. Let me get you down there. Look at that. I have a few crotch pieces of this, and they're just going to have to wait. Oh boy. That's going to be nice. Alright, I got to get going here because it's going to dry out real quick. Maybe I better measure how thick this is. Well, that's less than 3/16. More concerned with what we have on the bottom, which is less than a half right now. So I'd like to get that down to close to a quarter. Gotta get the wool down a little bit more though. Alright, let's go ahead and go over this with the scraper. And I don't know if I'll even try to sand it because it is still a little wet. Alright, I might go over it with some 80 grit, and I'm considering getting the tenon off because it'll be easy to hand sand. I just don't know how this wood will react in the drying stage. Alright, even though it's still a little damp, I'm going to start sanding it with 80 grit, and depends how it sands up. I might stop because I think I'm going to try to remove that tenon. That's the thickest part left on here, and if I can get it sanded to 80, I think I can rechuck it, maybe using a hot glued on tenon to finish the sanding. Alright, I'll be back when we're ready for the next step, and that's when I figure out what that will be. Alright, I've got it flipped around up against some padded material and a block of wood. This might seem crazy, but I'm going to cut that tenon off right now, because if it wanted to crack, that's the first place it's going to do it, because there's a lot of wood right there. I'm going to get that off. I actually got this sanded up pretty smooth, up to 120. So I think it'll be easy enough to sand afterwards, and I may be able to recenter it. So who knows? Let's find out. At a 1/2 inch bowl gouge, we're doing about 700 RPM to start with. And it broke. That's okay. Alright, I'm going to let this sit for a while, and maybe tomorrow I can get it sanded up. So after I turn that tenon off, I let it sit for about 5 hours. Now I have it centered here with one of my soft center cones that I 3D printed, and I have just a tenon that I make here with about 6 spots of hot glue on it, just so I'll have a good drive on it and it won't slip. So we're going to go ahead and finish sanding, and I'll go to 120 now up to 400. And when it's all sanded up, I'm going to take it off, probably let it set till tomorrow, and we'll put some finish on it. You should be able to see the sawdust coming out there really nice. It's standing like a dry piece of wood, and it's somewhere around 3/16 thick. Going to do that, and we'll do the inside like this. I can almost reach the center, because that's kind of a tapered cone. Close enough that I can get the rest by hand. Alright, I'll get this off, let it sit the rest of the night, and we'll put some finish on it tomorrow. Alright, it's time to get some finish on this, and I've been going back and forth on what I want to use. I know that as soon as I put something on there, those colors are going to come alive, and I think that clear lacquer is going to be the best. There it is. I don't know if the lighting's going to work for you here, but it sure looks nice to me. Okay, I'll go ahead and get the rest of that on there. I'll spray some on the inside, and I'll come back. I've got another disc hot glued on the bottom of there so I can do it while it spins. So I'll come back and show you what we ended up with. Well, it is done, and I gotta say that this was a lot of fun. And I said it in the beginning, I've got a couple reasons why I wanted to do something simple. And one was the issues I had because of the antibiotics and what it did to my hands. So we are back. We're gonna get back to regular turning now, and I appreciate all your concerns. The other reason is I've been asked to make a sign for our church, and I have multiple signs outside and inside in there that I've milled out on my machine. So I'll put a picture in the end so you can see that I do other things besides wood turning, because I think the sign turned out really nice. So that said, here we are. Look at this piece of wood. It's a beautiful piece of wood. Red bud. Who would have known? Look at that grain on the outside. It's just really cool. I finished this with multiple coats of def lacquer sprayed on, just so I could see that grain really well. Finished 5.5 inches in diameter. It's a little over 1.5 inches tall. The walls are 3/16 of an inch, and I got the bottom way thinner than what I wanted. You can hear that. So when I was cutting the nub off and the nub broke, it put a little crack in it. So it's kind of disguised, but if you could feel it, you could see where it was. But this was sort of me wanting to see the inside, like a kid wanting to see a Christmas present. Well, I want to see what's inside of there. And I wanted to see what's inside this red bud so bad, I picked this little piece and did it. And I think it is just a beauty. So next week, got something a little more special. It's going to be a glue up. And I'll tell you what, it's going to be a complicated glue up, so I hope that all works out. And I sure appreciate you watching this little red bud bowl, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I really enjoy doing the wood turnings and making these videos, and I enjoy making all kinds of things out of wood. So a special reminder, if you want to see something else I've made recently, stick around to the end. I'll put a picture up. And if you did like this video, if you'd give it a thumbs up, that'd be great, and leave a comment. I love reading them all. Special thanks to all my current subscribers. You really mean a lot to me. If you're not subscribed, please consider doing so. I do all kinds of turnings. So, till the next time, see you later. This is one of the many engraved signs that I've made.